Major funding for this Read 180 workshop is provided by the National Science Foundation, America's investment in the future.
At Jif Peanut Butter, we know just how choosy you are when it comes to your family, including the shows you value most. Public television encourages kids' curiosity and love of learning, and Jif is proud to support Cyberchase on behalf of all choosy moms and dads.
Intel Corporation is a proud supporter of PBS. The Intel Innovation in Education Initiative provides teachers with the resources to inspire their students and encourage them to unlock their potential.
And by a ready-to-learn television cooperative agreement from the U.S. Department of Education through the Public Broadcasting Service.
And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. This program was also made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to Workshop 1, Eyes on the Graduation Prize. The cap, the gown, the party. There's a lot to celebrate on graduation day. That little diploma is a big ticket to better jobs, more money, and more choices in life. So why are almost 1 in 3 students dropping out of school these days? Especially when former dropouts tell us it's a decision they regret. In this workshop, we'll take a look at this problem, why it's happening, and why it doesn't have to happen to you. First, you'll read an essay detailing the dropout crisis and all its consequences. Then you'll enjoy the true success story of 2 Read 180 students who decided to turn their lives around by tackling the poor reading skills that were holding them back. Finally, you'll meet 3 amazing friends who made it out of a tough neighborhood and into medical school. Their secret? They made a deal with each other and they never broke it. In our video story, you'll learn about an incredible group of high school students who had to walk out of the classroom to make their voices heard in the classroom. Get ready for the graduation march to Workshop 1. Just keep your eyes on the prize. Reading 1, America's Dropout Crisis. It's graduation day, but not everyone is graduating. Even though all are capable of pursuing their dreams, thousands of students drop out before reaping the rewards of a high school diploma. Some individuals leave school chasing after freedom, but quickly discover they've actually limited their earning potential, because it turns out that only a diploma can deliver the options that bring real freedom and more money. In this essay, you'll find out the true cost of this crisis. Reading 2, Living in the Success Zone. Tabitha Trujillo and Jaworski Lane always had a hard time reading. Tabitha struggled with self-confidence and was terrified of reading aloud in class. Football star Jaworski was unbeatable on the field, but reading would stop him dead in his tracks. Both felt lost until their reading teacher, Betty Lewing, stepped in, enrolling them in Read 180. There were times when Tabitha and Jaworski wanted to quit, until each individual found something positive to focus on. In this profile, you'll see how their determination and dedication led them straight into the success zone. Reading 3, The Pact. In the 1980s, the streets of Newark, New Jersey were a hotbed of crime, drugs, and poverty. But Samson, George, and Ramik, 3 friends who came up on those streets, discovered a secret weapon for success: each other. As teens, 2 of them spent time in juvenile detention centers. But today, Ramik practices internal medicine, George is a dentist, and Samson is an emergency room physician. With a dream of becoming doctors, the 3 young men made a pact, an agreement, to help each other reach their goals, no matter what. And they all made it through medical school. Their bond was so strong, they were able to accomplish more together than they ever could have individually. You'll read about how they beat the odds in an excerpt from their book, The Pact. East Los Angeles, California is home to the largest Hispanic community in the United States. For decades, immigrants from Mexico have settled here, hoping to share in the American dream of a good job and a good education. It was here in East LA that a courageous group of Mexican-American students fought for their piece of that dream nearly 40 years ago. In a long-forgotten but powerful protest, they took their futures into their own hands and won. Walkout. 1968 was a turbulent year in America. All over the country, people were standing up for their civil rights and fighting for racial equality. In East Los Angeles, a group of Mexican-American high school students was beginning their own fight for the right to a quality education. For decades, LA's Mexican-American students faced academic discrimination. Kids on the East Side were sent to crowded, second-rate high schools that prepared them for nothing more than low-paying jobs. More than half routinely dropped out of school, and the few who graduated were discouraged from going to college. Some students were getting frustrated. In 1968, frustration turned to action. A group of Mexican-American students began to organize. They wanted smaller class sizes and courses that included Mexican-American history. They wanted their schools repaired and maintained. Mostly, they wanted equal treatment and a better education. They played it safe at first, presenting their concerns to their principals. When that failed, they went before the Board of Education. Still, their voices went unheard. So they took a stand that couldn't be ignored. On March 5th, 1968, at the sound of the 9 o'clock bell, students from Garfield High School in East LA got up from their seats and walked out. Over the next few days, they inspired walkouts at 5 other public schools, until over 20,000 students took to the streets in protest. Shouting Chicano power and Viva la Raza, they brought America's largest school system to a grinding halt. It was the biggest protest of its kind in the nation's history. Police tried to crush the peaceful demonstration. Some students were beaten, but they held fast and finally won a series of concessions from the school board. The walkout sparked a new Chicano pride in East LA. Many of the students applied to college, and Hispanic enrollment in California universities increased dramatically. Chicanos were finally sharing in the American dream. Many of the original protesters went on to great success. One of them was Antonio Villaraigosa, who is now mayor of Los Angeles. Another, Moctezuma Esparza, became a successful producer. The protests were all but forgotten until 2006, when Esparza made a film called Walkout. 38 years later, it captures the drama of that powerful week in 1968 and inspires a new generation of students to make education count.